Maybe you could tell everybody what you're working on today. And when I see you pushing your chips, because you're a great investor and you've always been ahead of the curve, people can look up Mark's Wikipedia or Grokpedia page and see all the innovations he's, seen. I don't know, he's typically 18 months ahead of everybody else, and he's probably 9 months ahead of me. So I always go to Mark, hey, Mark, what are you thinking about? Tell everybody what you learned over the last 2 years and why it's important and where you push your chips.
Yeah, so my chips are pushed on a thing called Bit Tensor, and the coin for that is TAO. And it's a very interesting new phenomenon. It's basically taking Bitcoin's mining side and making that programmable on a new chain. So it's not on Bitcoin, it's on its own chain, the TAO chain. And by making the mining side of it programmable, it incentivizes 128 subnets, which are sort of like companies, to build new AI products. So there's $100 million a year that are handed out basically as a subsidy, just like how Bitcoin hands out new Bitcoins to miners, right, to subsidize its own growth. The BitTensor chain hands out TAO to subsidize the growth of new AI products. And it's doing some very incredible things. We're only about 4 years into it. The last year in particular has been pretty incredible.
So Lon, this is important because, we talked about the project known as Bitcoin, the tip of the spear that got everybody engaged in this. But the math problems and all the CPU was going towards busy work.
Right.
It was not actually serving a purpose other than establishing the Bitcoin network, which was an important thing to do, but it also is using a lot of energy.
Right. And this was a big knock against Bitcoin in the early days, if you'll recall. Oh, it's so wasteful. We're using all this power so that they can crunch these numbers, and then we don't even need the numbers to be crunched. And it's just this was a huge knock against Bitcoin in its early days, was that we were wasting all this power just solving these problems so we could create this artificial scarcity.
So Mark, take us through 2 or 3 of the most important inspiring projects. And then for full disclosure, you were starting a fund to take advantage of this called Stillcore, and I joined you as a partner in that. I put some of my chips in. I think I'm going to be ready to put some more chips in, I'll be honest. This year I'm feeling a little frisky. Because
do I get to wet my beak here? Do I get to jump in?
You got 10 dimes? You could put 10 dimes into Stillcore. I'll allow it.
I'll put it together.
Yeah, put 5 or 10 dimes in.
I think I could come up with a stack. I think I could come up with one stack to put it.
One brick.
One brick, yeah.
Yeah, 5 dimes. 5 dimes gives 10 dimes a brick. So take us through maybe 2 or 3 of the projects. If we could show them on the screen, even better. But what's inspiring and interesting?
Yeah, I don't have anything ready for the screen, but let me just respond to your request. So Jason, the biggest news in Bittensor in the last 24 hours has been the launch of Ridge's Subnet 62's product. Now it's a vibe coding platform. It competes with Claude and Cursor. And basically it's scoring 73 to 88% on the SWE benchmark test, which is sort of like the SAT that measures how effective a vibe coder is. So it's comparable or better than Claude. And it's scoring 96.3% on the polyglot test, which is a different version, a different benchmark, but measuring the same thing. So the price that they're launching at is $29 a month. So it's 5 to 7 times cheaper than Claude Code and Codex at a comparable benchmark. So it's the same or better in terms of quality. And it was built on Bittensor for roughly $10 million in emissions from the chain, while Cursor had to raise against a $29 billion valuation to accomplish the same thing. So pretty interesting.
No founder starts a company because they're eager to spend hours and hours filling out their payroll and setting up an HR department and just doing their taxes and accounting. Why do we start companies? We want to build a great product or service. We want to fix a problem in the world. And as we all know, these chores pile up and they become a huge cognitive load. They become a distraction. You don't want to spend your time learning how to do these chores at a high level. No, you want a partner who does them perfectly. So why don't you get a partner like Every, and they'll take care of all these administrative tasks for you in one convenient spot. That means incorporating banking, credit cards, payroll, HR, bookkeeping, and of course, filing your taxes. That's something you cannot get wrong. That's table stakes, folks. This whole system was built from the ground up for founders just like you and me. So Every already knows your most pressing questions and the features you need most. They're going to give you 3% cash back on all your company purchases sent directly to your bank account. So it's time for you to visit every.io for all your startup needs. Every.io, EVERY.io.